Weather Service in Raleigh. It's Nick Petro with your routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina. This briefing covers the first full week in December through the 10th. And right off the bat, I want to bring something to your attention. It's the first full week in December, which is, we usually highlight winter weather preparedness during this week here in North Carolina. So indeed, this week is Winter Weather Preparedness Week for 2023 here in the state of North Carolina. So like we've done with past preparedness weeks, there is a highlighted topic each day of the week. And you could see them listed down there in the lower left. This is the time of year where we want to just highlight the potential winter hazards. And I know we haven't had much snow or ice the last couple of years. I know eventually our luck's going to run out. I don't know if it's going to be this year or another year, but eventually our luck is going to run out. And remember, it only takes one storm to make it a very memorable winter season. So we want to take the time this week when the weather is nice. And this week, the weather will be nice. So this is a great week to have Winter Weather Preparedness Week, and a great week to do what you need to do to get ready for the upcoming season. Speaking of the upcoming season, overall, odds tilt toward above normal temps this winter for North Carolina. However, that's just in the big picture. You know, I'm sure there'll be a couple episodes, occasional brief cold air outbreaks that will still happen. You know, I don't know when those are going to happen. I don't know how many times they're going to happen. But all in all, if you at the end of the winter, when we go back and run the numbers for this winter, when we get to the month of April, we're going to say, okay, yeah, this winter was, you know, probably a little bit warmer than average. That doesn't mean we still can't have an occasional Arctic outbreak. However, because of the El Nino, it looks like odds are pretty leaning heavily into the above normal precipitation, which we can desperately use given the drought. But what I can't tell you is how many of those above normal precip events will fall as rain, snow, or ice. Obviously, that's only predictable on shorter time scales. So we need to be prepared regardless. So a lot of those increased precip events will fall as rain. A lot of them will. But you know, if one of those precip events could get teamed up with a cold air outbreak, well, then who knows? It could be something other than rain. So anyway, now's the week to prepare. Speaking of preparedness, we are offering this is our annual winter weather training for Skywarn program. And you know, it's not just for Skywarn spotters or amateur radio operators. This winter weather training webinar is for everybody, and anybody with an interest in weather, interest in winter weather. And it's good for everybody to attend, just for your awareness of the types of winter weather we could get here in North Carolina, some winter weather climatology, how to stay safe, how to tell the differences, how to measure snowfall and ice, because I'll tell you, we desperately need measurements of snow and ice when they occur in real time. That helps us tremendously. So this will be a great presentation that covers all those topics and more. If you want to sign up for it, there are the links. There's two offerings. One of our meteorologists, Tom Green, will be presenting, and Tom has presented this presentation this time of year every year for the last 4 or 5 years in a row, and he does a great job at it. I think you'll really enjoy his presentation. There are the links: December 12th at 7 p.m. and December 30th at 10 a.m. Tuesday and Saturday respectively. So there are the sign-up links, and obviously I'll be emailing these slides out, and you'll have those links in your email here shortly. All right, let's get back to the weather. Let's see here. What do we got going on? Here's the live data. Let's throw some satellite on there, some radar, and let's see what we've got going on here. When we zoom in, and let me change this to a different type of satellite imagery, one here that makes a little bit more ease at interpreting the data. Couple things that'll jump out at you. There's the radar right there. There's the live radar. You see these showers. In fact, let me turn clouds off because this way it's less confusing. But you see these precipitation echoes here moving across eastern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee, crossing the North Carolina mountains. That's all associated with an upper level disturbance. You can kind of see the swirl in the clouds. And most of this rain activity Most of this rain activity here, you can see this rain area right in here. Most of it will lift off to the northeast, and some of it, though, the tail end of it may get into our area. But if it does, if it does, because a lot of times when these things cross the mountains like this, there's not much left over of the rain when they get on the east side. You might see a light, patchy, episode of rain that lasts for a few minutes. But the takeaway is this isn't a drought busting rain at all. Most places aren't even going to see rain. So if you see any rain, consider yourself lucky. It ain't going to last long. It might amount to 1 or 2 hundredths of an inch of rain, if it even amounts to that. But anyway, not a deal breaker for any outdoor plans today if you happen to need to be outside for anything. Okay, then the next weather maker is moving across the middle of the country here, the Central Plains. And then there'll be some colder air behind it. Look at these 20s and 30s and 40s up in the plains here. Some of that cold air, not the 20s, but some of that colder air will get to eastern and central and western parts of our state later, middle of the week. Again, it's not going to be a cold air outbreak. It'll be modified by the time it gets here. All right, so but it will turn cooler for the middle of the week. All right, so let's go to the weather pattern, and I'll just highlight the key points here. Patchy light rain is possible today as an upper disturbance moves across our area. Most places will stay dry, however. Some additional light rain is possible late tomorrow into early Wednesday as a cold front moves through. That cold front I pointed out just a moment ago will feature falling temps behind it. We'll see temps a few degrees below normal for midweek. And then once we get that out of the way, that front, then that'll set us up for a period of dry weather Thursday through Saturday. And once the high moves offshore, like you see there on the Friday panel, once the high goes to our east, that brings a southerly wind flow. And when this wind blows from the south, it tends to warm up. So there'll be a gradual moderating trend as we head through Friday into Saturday. And then finally, another cold front. It is December, cold fronts happen. A cold front with rain showers and maybe some thunder even will move through on Sunday. So I know what you're thinking. If we get thunder in December, what does that mean? So I'm not even going there on this briefing. But anyway, a cold front with rain showers and maybe some thunder will move through on Sunday. All right. Let's see. No risk for severe weather the next 7 days. No risk for flash flooding the next several days. Well, let's see here. Let's see. I got a stuck slide there. There we go. Well, maybe not. Let me back up here a minute. There we go. Oh, gosh, sorry. Okay, this is an accumulated precip. How much over the course of the next 5 days? The normal graphics I show on this slide were kind of not functioning. So I apologize for the not showing it day by day. But suffice it to say, the amounts you see there, that's a 5-day total. So much of central North Carolina is just going to stay dry right through the next 5 days. And those that see rain, it'll be under 1/10 of an inch. All right, drought. Not much improvement since last week. In the lower left, you can see last week's drought map compared to this week's drought map. A little bit of improvement over the central I-95 corridor, but still, we need some rain. We desperately need some rain. All right. Will we get the rain? Well, the 8 to 14 day outlook suggests maybe a chance for some additional rain there in the 8 to 14 period. Unfortunately, I'd like to see some of that green in the western half of the state, but odds favor at this point in time not really a whole lot of extra rain right now. So we're still waiting to see if the El Nino pattern can get going, because so far it's the classic really wet across the southeast pattern for El Nino hasn't really materialized yet. So hopefully maybe later this month into January we'll see that crank up, because we need it. But for now, unfortunately, not much in the way of drought relief. Okay, all right. This is our experimental graphical hazardous weather outlook, and the little checkerboard there, chiclets, so to speak, are all painted green, which means a very low impact weather as we head through the next 5 to 7 days. You'll see a yellow there highlighting wind on Sunday. It's possible that you know, there could be a wind gust up to 30 or so with any of those showers or thunderstorm, or even behind the front. Sometimes it's windy in those post-frontal environments, but again, nothing too impactful. So that's what we like to see, right? A lot of green. Green is good, means low impact weather. All right, so wrapping it up, patchy light rain today. Again, most places will stay dry. Some additional patchy light rain tomorrow night into late tomorrow into Wednesday morning. Again, if you get any rain, it'll be less than a tenth if you even get that. And then temps will get back to you know, at or a few degrees below normal for midweek, and then dry Thursday through Saturday, gradually warming up. Look at that, mid 60s, upper 60s by Saturday and Sunday. So, and then another cold front will move through on Sunday. That'll give us our next probably better chance for rain. And when I say better, I mean better coverage and maybe slightly better amounts. So so we'll have to wait till Sunday to see any kind of decent rain. So anyway, but in the meantime, low impact weather during this briefing period. So that wraps up our weekly briefing for this Monday, the 4th of December.